Welcome to my channel, and I'm here to inspire you, give you crochet advice, and help you along with your next project. If you enjoyed this pattern, please give me a thumbs up or even comment so I can gauge your interest. It helps me to know what to film next. I'm not very formal. Here's today's zinger. Oh, here's a deep thought for you today. One who sleeps under a crochet blanket is comforted by love. That's from Jeannie herself. Let's get on with today's tutorial. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. As my friends over at yarnspirations.com. We have a 3-in-1 today. There's 3 concepts, but it's actually really quite cool. So we have the original cable twist hat that you see here. There's also a twist stitch messy bun hat, which is the exact same pattern, but it's not finished all the way to the top. These are both using Caron Simply Soft and will fit just like you see with the model here. Now I prefer my brims to roll, and so I decided to up my game here, and I used Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. And let me just back you out a little bit. This is my version that I have here, and so when you have it in this format here, it's really quite generous in the sizing, but it fits just like a glove, and I love my faux fur pom poms. So what I decided to do is that I like to roll. So I'm using the pattern as is, and with the transition of the coloring, it actually does a really cool look. And so when it's rolled like this, this actually fits right to the top of my skull. But if you have it like this, then it will become like a slouchy. So you can decide what you would like to do. So I'm going to teach this with a Super Saver Ombre with using a gray tone and something that I can do for myself, and use my faux fur pom poms. You can make your own pom poms with your yarn if you would like to as well. And so without further ado, we're going to head right into the diagram next that I provided for you. And I'm sorry that I'm slipping up on my words today. Let's get started on the diagram work first. If you follow the link in the more information of this video, you can actually find this diagram. There's actually 2 of them. So this is the very start of the brim, and you will see that it will take you all the way to round number 7 using the same format, and we'll cover this in more detail. Once you have that done, you then progress to the body of it, and so then you'll progress from 1 to 5 and then 1 to 4, and then that's it. So you'll be approximately around the 6-inch mark as soon as you get to the 4th round. In the Super Saver Ombre, it'll just be over 6 inches, but that's just the way it is. You're then going to proceed to the top diagram right here. This is the number 4. So this is number 4 that we finished. So you see you have to repeat the twist section until the hat measures 6 inches, ending on the 4th round. So this is the 4th round in gray, so it's already done, and then you proceed from 1 all the way to 10 right to the top of this. The bun hat finishes right here. So once round 8 is done, you finish off and you will leave the opening for your ponytail if you wish. So it's a really neat concept, and without further ado, we're gonna head in and we're gonna start our tutorial, and let's begin our journey now. 5mm size eye crochet hook to begin. So let's begin, and we're gonna start with our chain, and you need to chain 72. So just start, and I'll show you a little trick. So we're gonna chain 72. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Once you have your 10th done, I want you to pull it off, and I want you to go to the first one and put it on, and just ignore this on the hook and put this back on, and then continue to count. So 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20, and go all the way to 72 in this format, and this chain will not twist. Let's see you there in a moment. So get your 72 done. Once you have your 72 on, then what you're just going to do is that you're just going to yarn over, pull through, and that will complete the center here of the brim. So let's now move on to round number 1. In this pattern, when we start with a chain 2, that doesn't count as anything. It's just a builder, so don't include that. So starting in the very first one right here, you're just going to double crochet in the back hump of the chain all the way around. And I want you to verify that there is 72 of those, so don't count that chain 2 as 1, and just get your 72 double crochets done and verify that count, and I will show you what to do next at the end of this round. So please do that now. Once you're all the way back around, you're going to slip stitch then to the top of the first double crochet. So ignore that chain 2 that is right there. What I'm going to recommend to you as well, we might as well just get rid of this tail end at the same time. So this is how you'll do it. So anytime you have to weave in ends, so just pull up a loop just to release that, and I'm gonna focus on the underside of it, so the inside of the ring. and I want to just drag the yarn underneath like so. Now as I was sitting here thinking about the first round, if you don't want to have the rolling of the brim, if you're doing it with the ombre, you can eliminate some rounds, and I'll talk about that in a few moments from now. So that's always an option. Remember, you always customize what you think is best for you. So just weaving back and forth a total of 3 times, and once you have that done, then you can safely just cut it down into the project and you're good to go. So put that back onto your hook, and we're going to proceed to round number 2. Let's begin round number 2. It's an easy repeat of 3 stitches in a row. So you're just going to chain 2, won't count as anything. Ignore this chain 2 that you see right here. That's not a stitch. And I need you to start, and the first 2 will be a front post double crochet. So coming in the side to the side, and then pull through, and then pull through 2 and 2, and then do the next one side to side like that. And then the next one is going to be a back post double crochet. So wrap the hook coming from the back side to the front and take that post to the back. There's videos on certain stitches if you need it on YouTube. Okay, so you make that as a back post double crochet. So the repeat then is that the next 2 will be a front post double crochet, and then the next one is going to be a back post double crochet. And I need you to do that same sequence all the way around, and I'll be back in a moment. So I'm coming all the way around, and the very last stitch, if your stitch counts are right, should be a back post double crochet, and you need to slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet. So I'm gonna give some advice here, and take it or leave it, and this is what I'm gonna suggest. Caron Simply Soft yarn is actually a thinner ply than it is for Red Heart Super Saver. So this means that the Caron Simply Soft, if you were to proceed exactly as written, it'll fit perfectly just like it shows on that model. However, because this yarn is slightly thicker, you end up with a taller hat. So what I'm going to suggest for you, if you're using Red Heart Super Saver even in the ombre, and you do not want the roll in order to kind of like match it to your head better, then what we can do is that we can eliminate then rows number 3, 4, 5 and 6, and that will take about 2 inches off of the hat and proceed right to this section here. So I am going to demonstrate it anyway of showing you what to do, but if it were me and I were you and you weren't watching me, I would go from where I am right now with the Super Saver here, and I would proceed to right to row number 7 or round number 7. So let me show you what to do with round number 3, because that's a repeat of 4 times in a row, and then you go to 7 from that point. So you can decide what you would like to do, whether you want the extra if you're doing it with Red Heart Super Saver, or if you're doing Caron Simply Soft, just continue the pattern as written. So rounds number 3, 4, 5 and 6, there's 4 rounds, is all the same. So what you have to do is you have to just match the stitch to stitch, and so if it's a front post double crochet, keep it as a front post. If it's a back post, keep it as a back post, and you have to do that for the 4 rounds. So I'll demonstrate that first, and for those that I just suggested for the ombre, I would jump from round number 2 and go all the way to round number 7. You decide what you want to do. There's video chapters so that you can skip ahead if you'd like to. Let's demonstrate round number 3. So rounds number 3, 4, 5 and 6 are all the same, and so you're just gonna chain 2. It doesn't count as anything, so just ignore this chain 2 here and go right to your front post. So the front posts are here. There's 2 in a row, so keep those as front posts. And then there's a back post you can see is slightly in behind, so keep it as a back post double crochet as well. And you're just gonna match stitch to stitch. So these 2 are front posts, so keep them as front posts, and the next 2, or sorry, the next one is a back post double crochet. So keep it everything as you see it, and you're gonna do rounds number 3, 4, 5 and 6, and when you get to the end of the round, just slip stitch it to the top of the first double crochet and proceed as follows. Remember, the last stitch before this is a back post double crochet. So please do that, and I'm going to be kicking up on round number 7 next. So for those that need to do 3, 4, 5 and 6, just put me on pause now, and for everybody else we're going to go to round number 7 next. So let's begin to do round number 7. So for those that are doing 3, 4, 5 and 6, you have to get that done first, and for everybody else that we're going for round number 7. So for myself I'm going from 2 to 7. So what I want to do is that I want to chain up 2, and it doesn't count as anything, and the first 2 are going to be a front post double crochet. The next one that is a back post is now going to be a half double crochet, and you're gonna see that's gonna follow itself all the way that you see in this particular diagram. The next 2 are front post double crochet, and then the next one is a half double crochet into the next back post. And here's where it gets interesting. So right next you're going to do the first 2 as a front post double crochet. The next one that is a back post is going to then be 2 front post double crochets on that same post, and then the next 2 are front post double crochets. And what you're doing is you're creating a new group of 6 using brims. The brims are tighter, so this is adding a total of 6 extra stitches in the round by the time you get all the way around, and it's being applied right here, and so you'll see that continually happening. So there is a repeat going on. I did mark it with the red line just so that you can see that, and that's what we're going to do. So let's do round number 7 next. Let's begin to do round number 7. Chain 2 doesn't count as anything, and the first 2 front post double crochets are going to stay as a front post. I'll tell you the repeat when we get there. The next one is a back post double crochet that you see, so you're going to make this as a half double crochet now. So you're no longer doing your back posts going forward. The next 2 are in the front post, so keep those as a front post. And then this is where the repeat begins. So right from this point. So let's do the repeat. So it's going to be a half double crochet in the first back post, and then the next 2 are going to be a front post double crochet. The next one is a back post double crochet, and you're gonna make that into 2 front post double crochets this time. So just going in from the front side, pull it forward and put 2 front post double crochets around the same stitch. So it's causing an increase to happen. And then the next 2 are going to be a front post double crochet. So this is going to be the group of 6 that will be crisscrossing in the future. Okay, they're right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is not the end of the repeat, so let's continue. So the next one will be a half double crochet in the back post, and see all this will stay as is, except for this back post that will stay as a half double crochet. So the next 2 are front post double crochet. The next post is a half double crochet, and then the next 2 are front post double crochet, and then that's when the repeat starts all over. So the repeat is actually a significant distance. So let me show you the repeat one more time. So you're gonna start off with a half double crochet in the back post, and these 2 are going to stay as a front post double crochet. This one here is the back post. You're gonna make that into 2 front post double crochets this time into the same stitch. The next 2 will stay as a front post double crochet, and there's the grouping of 6 that you will need for the future. It's all right here. That's not the end of the repeat, so let's continue. So you're gonna half double crochet in the next back post. The next 2 are going to stay as a front post double crochet. The next one is going to be a half double crochet in the back post, and then the next 2 are front post double crochet, and that's the end of your repeat. So you want to continue that same sequence around. Just reverse the video back if you need that extra help, and you'll notice that the increase is happening right where it should. And continue that, and I'll be back at the end of round number 7. When you get around on round number 7, you're just going to keep that sequence going, but eventually the last few stitches are not going to be what you think they are. And the reason for it, I just put 2 into the same back post. The reason for it is that our repeat did not start until we were right here. So we did all of this first. So this is part of a repeat that is going to be starting on this side, which I've already done. So I've started and I put my 2 double crochets in, or front posts in, and then this one is sharing the same back post, and then the next 2 here are going to be a front post double crochet, and the very last stitch that's in the sequence should be a half double crochet. So just think about that the seam line here was not at the beginning of a repeat. Okay, so now you're just going to join it to the top of the first front post double crochet to have the sequence of that. I know it can be kind of confusing. So now we're going to proceed to round number 1 of the body of the hat. Let's start the body of the hat. Every time you do round number 1, which will be this time and then another time in the future of the body section here, we're going to have a crisscross happening. So let's begin to do that. The crisscross only happens when the 6 are in a row like this. So everywhere else that you see them in pairs with these half double crochets in between them, there is no crisscross. So just keep an eye on those. You're going to begin by chaining 2, and you're going to do the first front post double crochet. You're going to do both of those in a row. So 1 and 2. The next one here is a half double crochet, so keep it as a half double crochet. That keeps it sunk in behind just a little bit, and the next 2 are front post double crochet, and then the next one is a half double crochet in the half double crochet. So here's where it's going to cross. So you're going to ignore the first 3 stitches here, and you're gonna concentrate here on these 3. So just wrap the hook and come in the front post of the 4th one away. So you're skipping the first 3, and you're going to double crochet that one plus the next one in a row plus the next one in a row. Then you're gonna come back and you're gonna get the 3 that you skipped. So wrap in the hook starting with the furthest one away, and now these stitches start to cover over top of each other, so just kind of use your fingers and push them out. So you'll do the next one that's in sequence, and finally the 3rd one is right here. And so now a crisscross has just literally happened. Starting in the next half double crochet, you'll continue to make that a half double crochet. I will show you the sequence once more. So here you're just gonna follow and make those the same as what you see. So there's gonna be 2 front posts in a row, and then a half double crochet in the half, and then another front post. There's 2 in a row, and then a half, and then there's the 6 once again. So skipping the first 3, front post double crochet the 4th one away, do that one plus the other 2 that are part of that, and then the 3 that you skipped, start with the furthest one away, and again use your fingers just to pop it out if you don't see it. Like that, and then continue along this. There's a half. So do that same sequence all the way around, and you will see these crisscross happening, and this is really gonna be quite fun. So I'll be back at the end of round number 1. So coming all the way around on round number 1 here, the body of it, and the last one is a half double crochet in the half double crochet, and you'll join it to the top of the first front post double crochet. So let's proceed to round number 2, which I think is the hardest round. Round number 2 I believe is the hardest round of this also. Every time you hit a round 2 it's gonna be the hardest, and the reason for it is that you have to use every one of these posts, but you can see that the other 3 are kinda hidden behind here. So you're going to have to use your fingers and ply it out from the back in order to have that texturing roll. So let's just begin. We're going to chain 2, won't count as anything. So you're just matching in between these sections here just what you see. Okay, so it's gonna be a front post in the 2 front posts that you have, so 1 in each, half double crochet in the half, and the next one are front post double crochet in each, and then a half. So that's gonna maintain itself. You see that in the models example as well. So these 3 here and these 3 in behind is what you need to separate from each other. So you have to just reach in behind and start doing a front post double crochet starting in the first one and pull it from the background and make that as a front post, and you know that there's 3 of them. So the next one, if you just dive in between, you can separate it and then use your hook to pull it out towards you. And you can do that one, and then you got one more. So again, just in between the posts, just use your hook and pull out. It can be tricky, I'm not gonna lie to you today. And then you're gonna get that one. Then you're going to use the 3 that you can actually see, and you'll be doing those in a row. And then you're back on this sequence again. So you're gonna half double crochet in the half, and then front post double crochet 2 in a row, half in the half, and then the 2 front posts again, and then half in the half. Okay, and now you got this again. So just using your hook and just get the first one in behind, just use your hook and pull it from the background. You do the one, then you'll do the next one, pull it towards you, and then the third one. And now you'll use the 3 that you can see in sequence, just keep those going, and etc. Okay, so just have patience with yourself and you will see that it will have the nice roll that you see, and that's what I need you to do. So continue the sequence, so half and the half and etc. Go all the way around. This is round number 2. So I'm coming all the way around on number 2. The last one is a half double crochet in the half. So then you'll slip stitch it to the beginning. Now what the beginning front post, what I would recommend to you, and this is something that I struggle with myself, is that I would put a stitch marker where you can see the end of a round, and this will help you to be able to see it next time. It gets really kind of tough once you start seeing these jump ups and jump downs of when you're crisscrossing to think that you're done a round and you're not. So just put in a stitch marker just to indicate that. So rounds number 3, 4 and 5 are all the same, and let's begin that next. Rounds number 3, 4 and 5 are the same, so just chain up 2, doesn't count as anything, and you're just going to match exactly what you see. So the 2 front posts are starting up, and then your half, and then you got another 2 front posts, and then a half. And here's the thing, so we crisscrossed last time, so in we crisscrossed like in round number 1. Round number 2 we kind of stabilized it, so 3, 4 and 5 is just a matter of keeping the front posts aligned with each other. So there's 6 in a row, so there's 1, and just go in sequence, and 2, and this helps it make it look more defined. So when you do this in 4 and 5, it's gonna be more straight up than it is currently right at this moment, because the crisscross is still having its tension to being pulled over. Okay, so you still have your 6. So you keep your halves with your halves, your front posts with your front posts, so you're just keeping an eye on those grouping of 6 that have the crisscross in it, and you're just making sure you're staying in sequence and keeping them in front post format. So I need you to do this now for rounds number 3, 4 and 5, and when we come back then I will just kick you up on round number 1 once again, and we'll cover that in a moment. So please do now rounds 3, 4 and 5. So I've now just finished up to round number 5. If you're doing it with Caron Simply Soft and you did not eliminate any rounds, this will be a little bit taller for you. For those that are doing it in this way of eliminating out the 4 rounds for the Red Heart Super Saver version, then this is exactly where you're going to be. Now we want to repeat rounds number 1 through 4 only. So we're gonna do a crisscross round and then just what we have been doing in the last few rounds here, just keeping it straight up. And then after the round number 4 we're going to proceed to the top of the hat. So let's begin round number 1 again. Let's review that and then I'm going to leave the rest to you and we're going to then proceed to the top of the hat next. So restarting number 1 again, you'll just chain up 2 and you'll keep your front posts as front posts that you have in the first section here, and then halves are a half. The yarn's been transitioning, as you can see. It's kind of cool. Now once you get to these 6 that are in a row, you're going to crisscross them like you did before. So skip in the first 3, go to the 4th and front post double crochet the 3 in a row and then come back to the ones that you skipped. Okay, starting in the furthest one away. Like that. And once that crisscross is complete, you'll half and a half and then continue with what you already know. You can see these lines are going straight up like they should be. So you're just keeping that with what you already know, so you're only focusing on those crisscrossing when you see the grouping of 6. Okay, and then here's your next 6. Skipping the first 3, front post double crochet the next 3 after that, and then come back to the one you skipped, starting in the furthest one away. So I need you to go all the way around for round number 1. And then round number 2 is what you already know it to be, if you recall. Then you just are continuing to keep those front post double crochets going straight on up. Remember, you just gotta peel it out from the background when you go to do that. So I want you to finish this round number 1 and do round number 2, 3 and 4, and that's where I'm gonna pick you up next as we start the top of the hat. And you just can reverse back the video, use the video chapters if you want to see the round numbers once again in order to just kind of fast forward or go back in time, and I'll be back in a moment. So I've now just completed up to round number 4 again, and this is where I'm going to flip the page and we're going to start the top of the hat next. So the top of the hat is going to come around in order to go to the top of the hat. I know, rocket science, right? So let's take a look at the diagrams and let's get ourselves back on track and let's proceed to finishing this hat. So here in the diagram we've finished off on round number 4. So we did 1 through 5 and then 1 through 4, and now we're ready for the next diagram. So 4 has been listed right here in gray, so you're not going to do that, and we're going to proceed through rounds number 1 all the way to the 10th. If you're doing the bun hat, you'll want to stop after round number 8 is then complete. So what you're going to notice in round number 1 is that we're going to start eliminating out stitches. So the stitches will start eliminating out from the sections that have been in between the braiding itself in the cable work. And so let's take a closer look at round number 1. So as you begin round number 1, it's going to start up, you'll chain your 2 and you'll put your first 2 front post double crochets in. You're going to skip over the next half double crochet and just start then front post double crochet in the next 2. So this is gonna pull it together. So in diagram work it's easier to show it like this than it is to show the compression of the stitches kind of leaning. So that's why there's a gapping space right here. So every time you're in between this section here, you're going to be skipping over the middle half double crochet. So let's begin round number 1. So you're concentrating on the sections that appear straight up like this, and you're gonna be eliminating out the half double crochet that separates those. So every time you're there, it's the middle one. So it's a nice easy round. So you're gonna follow exactly what you see. So you're just gonna chain 2, make the first 2 as a front post double crochet. I know black is hard to see. So you're gonna skip the half double crochet that's separating those 2 and immediately just front post double crochet the next 2. And so that will pull that together. So we're eliminating out a stitch, and then the rest are going to be the same until you get back over here again. So then it's a half and a half, and then these 6 will stay as a front post double crochet straight up. And then you're coming to this section again. So you'll put in half and a half, and you're gonna eliminate the half double crochet that separates those two sections. So it's a front post double crochet in the first two, skip over the half double crochet, and front post double crochet the next two. So please do this all the way around. This is round number 1 of the top of the hat, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm at the end of number 1. Let's go back to the diagram and let's look at number 2. It's the last time we'll be crisscrossing. So in round number 2 we're going to not eliminate any stitches, but we're just gonna do the crisscross motion. So we'll chain 2, we'll put a front post double crochet in the first 4 that you have. Remember, this space does not exist, it's just for diagram purposes. So then you'll just proceed and you'll do your crisscross as you know it to be, and then you'll just continue along. So just let's do round number 2. Let's do round number 2, and you're going to chain 2, and you'll keep the first 4 as a front post double crochet. This helps it to do its nice shaping at the top. So if you rush the top, it looks very beanie like, where if you do it like it's suggesting, it's more toque format. Okay, so you put a half in the half, and then you have your 6 in a row that you've been playing with. So again, skipping over your first 3, and you will just go to the 4th and double crochet over, front post of course, and then go to the one furthest away and pick it back up and do those 3. Once that's done, you'll half and a half, and then you have these 4 front post double crochets, so keep those straight up. Okay, half and the half, and then you'll do your crisscross once again. So the 6, just crisscross, and then half and a half, and etc. Please do this all the way for round number 2. Okay, round number 2 is now complete, the crisscross, and now let's begin to round number 3 as we eliminate another stitch. In round number 3 we're going to chain up 2, and we're gonna put a front post in the front post. These 2 that are here right in the center of the grouping of 4 are going to become a 2 together front post, and then 1 front post here. The rest of it will remain half and half. These ones, remember, you have to peel it open the background, and this is the just going straight on up, and then just maintain the pattern as you see. So you're just eliminating out 1 stitch in that grouping of 4, and it's gonna be a 2 together front post double crochet. Let's try that. This is round number 3. Let's try round number 3. You're just gonna chain 2, and so the first one will be a front post double crochet, and then the next 2 will be used together as a 2 together front post double crochet. So wrap the hook going in the front post, pull through 2 and hold, do not finish it, and then go into the next one, wrap, and into the next one, pull through 2 and hold. You see 3 loops in the hook, pull through all 3, and those 2 just became 1 stitch. And then you're gonna front post double crochet the next. So of this grouping of 4, it's going to become into a grouping of 3. Now the rest of it is just what you already know, so it's a half and a half. Now these are going to be a front post double crochet, so you gotta peel it out from the background. Just keep in sequence. So you do the first one. It's always a little harder. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Just use that hook and pull it forward. So there's 3, and then you got the 3 that you can see. You'll keep those as a front post double crochet. So you're maintaining the cabling even though you're eliminating out stitches, which is great. So you'll do a half and a half, and then you have this next grouping of 4. So the first one stays as a front post double crochet, the next 2 become together as 1. See? And then just 1 into the next. So please do this all the way around for round number 3. Okay, round number 3 is complete, and we're now going to move on to round number 4 as we continue. Let's go back to the diagram. So in the diagram we're not eliminating out any stitches, but we're gonna help stabilize this. So we put these 2 together here, so there'll just be 1 front post double crochet that will wrap around that. Okay, everything else is maintaining in the front posts as you see, halves and halves, and that's what we're gonna try for round number 4. I'll be right back. Let's try round number 4. Just chain up 2 and keep the front posts as front posts. Now the next one is a 2 together. You see that there. So just wrap the hook and just go around, making sure you capture that entire stitch and make that a front post double crochet, and then the next one. So it helps stabilize that nicer. So it's a half and a half, and now you'll just keep everything going straight on up. So these are that grouping of 6, so keep those as front post double crochet in each. And then a half and a half, and then you have that next grouping right here. So the first one is a front post double crochet, so is the next one, but you're just making sure that you get under that, and then the next one front post double crochet, and etc. So please follow that around. This is round number 4. Okay, just finished round number 4, and now we're going to go to round number 5 where we're going to do even more decreasing next time. In round number 5 we're going to put these 3 that are part of that grouping of 4 that used to be down here is going to be together as one. So it's a 3 together front post double crochet using all 3, and then you'll maintain your halves and halves. Your front posts are going to maintain, and then half and half, and then the 3 are going to come together. So we're going to be eliminating out double the amount of stitches this time for round number 5. Let's begin round number 5. So round number 5 is the last time that we're going to be decreasing this, and then next time we're going to be starting to decrease what's in the braiding area. So chain 2, and you're going to start and put 3 together as these 3. So just wrapping and going into the front post, pull through 2 and hold, and do the next post, pull through 2 and hold, and next post, 2 and hold. So you should have 4 loops on the hook. Pull through all 4, so those 3 just became 1. Everything else is going to maintain, so a half and half, and then the 6 front posts, you'll keep those as front posts for this round. Okay, and then half and half, and then you're back onto this section here. So all 3 will become together as one. So just start picking them up and don't finish your stitching. And once you see your 4 loops on the hook, you're done. So then pull through all of that and continue. So with half and half, and etc. Please do this all the way around round number 5. So now I've just done number 5. So coming up soon is that I'm using Anthracite, I think is called the color that is here. Now this particular color has a definite stop in the coloring transition, so it stops at a black and then it starts at a light color once again. So unlike other ombres where it does transition from light to dark back, the Anthracite doesn't. It actually has an abrupt end of the color. So you'll see that happening. So you have to decide what you like. Let's begin round number 6. In round number 6 we're going to chain up 2, and you're going to put 1 front post half double crochet around the grouping of the 3 that you had, and then half and a half, 1 into the next, and then the next 2 that's in that sequence of 6 is going to come together as 1. The next 2 is going to become together as 1, and then 1 into the final one of that grouping of 6, and then half and a half, and then 1 around the grouping of 3. So just keeping really an eye on the middle one of the grouping of 6 that you have. Let's try round number 6. So let's try round number 6. You're gonna chain 2. So you'll put 1 front post half double crochet around the 3 together below, and then a half and a half. Then you have your grouping of 6. The first one is gonna be a front post double crochet by itself. The next 2 is gonna become 2 together as a front post double crochet, so put those 2 together. The next 2 will also become together as 1, so put those 2 together. And then the last one of the grouping of 6 is 1 front post by itself. Okay, let's keep moving. So a half and a half, 1 front post double crochet around the 3 together below, half and a half, and then you got your grouping of 6 again. So the first one is one front post double crochet by itself. The next two are going to come together as one. The next two are together as one. And the last one in the grouping of 6 is one front post double crochet by itself. So please do that all the way around. I'll see you at the end of the round. Okay, I'm now at the end of number 6, and in number 7 we're going to continue our journey. Let's begin number 7 on the diagram first. In number 7 you're going to chain up 2. There will be one front post double crochet around the other front post that's here. There will be a half and a half, one in the next front post, and you see these two together. There will be one front post in the one first together, and then another front post in the next one together, and then jump immediately right here. So you're just going to maintain the stitches as you see to give that nice equal flow. This is round number 7. In round number 7 you're just going to chain up 2, and you'll put a front post double crochet around the other front post that's there, and then a half double crochet in the next half double crochet. Now you have your only 4 here. So the two middle one are the two together stitches from before. So the first one is a front post double crochet. The next one is a front post double crochet around the two together stitch below. Another front post double crochet around the two together stitch below, and then a front post double crochet around the other front post double crochet. And then half and a half, and then just continue to maintain that. So let's start again. So front post around the other front post, half and a half, and here's your grouping here. So the first one is a front post double crochet by itself. The other one is a front post double crochet by itself, but it's around the two together. Another one around the two together, and then the other one around the other one there. So maintain that all the way around. This is round number 7. So I'm here at the end of number 7. Number 8 is next, which will be the final round for the bun hat version if you'd like it to be. Round number 8, you're going to put the middle 2 that are part of this in the together as one. So you'll chain up 2 front posts in the front post, half and a half, one front post in the front post, and then the 2 that are in the middle here will become 2 together, and then one front post to the next, and you'll maintain that around. This is round number 8. Let's begin round number 8. Chain 2 and a front post around the front post and a half around the half. Now you have your grouping of 4. So the middle one, middle 2 are going to become together as one. So the first one is by itself, and then the next 2 that are in the middle of that will become 2 together, and then one by itself. Okay, so then half and a half, one front post in the next front post, half and a half, and then you have your grouping like here. So the first one's by itself, front post double, and then the 2 middle ones are going to come together as one. So 2 together, and then one front post double by itself. Please maintain that all the way around. This is round number 8. So I'm at the end of number 8. So you'll fasten off, if you want a bun hat version, you'll have an opening at the top for your ponytail to hang out, and then for everybody else you can continue on. So if you want to fasten off, just cut this yarn and just weave it in and out 3 times, and then you're good to go. For everybody else, we're going on to round number 9 next. In round number 9 we're going to be eliminating even more stitches, of course. So you're going to chain 2 front post in the front post, half and a half. These 3 are going to become together as a 3 together, half and a half, one in the one, half and a half, and then 3 together. Please do this. Let's try this for round number 9. Let's try number 9. Chain 2. You'll do a front post in the front post and a half in the half. Now the grouping here that you see is going to become to 3 together double crochets. So you start grabbing them. These are in the front post, of course, and you'll see 4 loops on the hook, and pull through all those, and then half and a half. So you maintain that what you see. So it's going to be a front post in the front post, half and a half, and you're looking for that group here, and you'll put that 3 together front post double crochet. So please maintain this for round number 9. I'll be right back in a moment. Came at the end of number 9. We have one more round to go, and then you're done. and then you can apply a pom-pom or leave it as is, you can decide. And let's try round number 10. In round number 10 we're going to chain up 2, and you'll apply 1 front post and then a front post, and then 1 front post in the grouping of 3. So you're skipping over these half double crochets now, and so you're just gonna maintain a front post double crochet just where you need to, and then you'll come back all the way around, and then at the end of that we'll be gathering those stitches to pull them together, and then you can apply a pom-pom if you wish. Let's begin round number 10. Just chain up 2 and front post around the front post, and just skip these half double crochets that are in between. The grouping of 3 is right here, so you'll do a front post double crochet around those, skipping the half, and front post around the next front post, and front post around the next grouping of 3, and you'll do that all the way around for round number 10. So I'm coming all the way back around, and I'm just going to join it to the top of the first front post double crochet. Now you want to leave enough of the strand that you can use to gather the remaining of the opening, and also use it to put on the pom-pom if you wish. If you use a full fur pom-pom like I'm going to, then what can happen is that you can literally place that in a sewing machine, or sorry, in a washing machine if you're interested in washing your hats later. So if you use a regular one with yarn, I'd recommend that you put it, make the pom-pom and tie it on with the bow tie, so that you can remove it if you have to wash it. So it's a great option for those in a craft show circuit. So with the long strand, you're just going to use the needle, and you're just going to gather your stitches here at the top. And if you don't want a pom-pom, that's up to you. I can't see why you wouldn't, because I love pom-poms, but I am biased that way, just letting you know. So once I go all the way around, just pull it shut, and then I go across directly, and then I go on an angle like this. So what I would like to do is just make sure that it ties onto itself. And if you want to, you can actually secure it on the underside in order to just go through and just weave it in back and forth a total of 3 times. But if you'd like to apply a pom-pom, the full fur one, this is how I would do it if I were you. These full fur pom-poms, you can actually feel the seam lines. You can't see it, but you can feel it with your fingers. And so there it is there. And so what I would do is that I will just take my strand, and I will go right into the ball and just carefully run it through, so it catches inside the fabric that is holding that together. It may take you a few tries to get it out. So once you get it inside the ball, just kind of carefully pull it through the yarn. And when you go back into the hat, you want to go opposite to where you are. Okay, so I'm going to just come in opposite, and it will just pull it in onto the top, and then carefully go back through the ball again on the inside, and then secure it. So I'm back in the ball the second time, and I will go back down into the center of the hat to the inside. Just open up the hat and pull that through, and make sure that when you pull it, you got all the slack out of that yarn. Then pull it to the inside and have it tie onto the fibers on the inside. Again, if I was using a yarn pom-pom, I would literally not tie this like I am. I would do a bow tie just so that you can release it. People in craft shows are really finicky. Some people love pom-poms, other people don't, so they'll turn down the sale because you've applied a pom-pom. But if you apply a tie onto it, then you can take it off, and so it becomes a less of an excuse why they can't buy. So, and if they still take bulk, even though they can take it off, that means they weren't interested at all. They're just kind of playing mind games with you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just weaving it in, and then that's it. And then you have a beautiful pom-pom hat, and let's just give it a good shake. And let's take a look at what this looks like versus the other one, because this was an educated guess on skipping the 4 rounds at the beginning. So here are the 2 hats side by side. So by eliminating out 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can see that I eliminated what I would have had to do if I wanted to do a brim. So you can see that this would fit to the head better, and this is using Red Heart Super Saver. So with Caron Simply Soft, as I mentioned, I would not have done that, but because this yarn is slightly thicker, it has a really cool look, and so really amazing ideas. So this is it on behalf of my friends at yarnspirations.com. We hope you have a good one, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.